So here we are live, and it's been a few days because I've been busy with other things, but I wanted to do this live to show you how inefficient context switching is. And I don't know if you are bad for this, but I realized at the weekend when I was doing so many different things how inefficient I was being. So I thought I'd record a video quickly in the group to show you some hacks to make sure that you can become more productive, because we're constantly switching between tasks, between activities, between conversations. We're split left, right and center. You know, the platforms that you're on, the gadgets, the equipment and electronics that you're on, your phone, your iPad, your laptop, your desktop, all of those different things means that you are really inefficient. What we've got to do is train our brains to be more focused and stop the switching between numerous tasks, and make sure that we're forming good habits on productivity by focusing on one thing at a time and being present in that moment, which we all know about, but with all of the distractions and notifications, we don't necessarily do we? So this is the point of the video. And I'll give you 6 hacks at the end, which you may already do, and I'd love to know your hacks as well. So yeah, I found an article online that said that you are potentially losing up to 80% of your productive time and your productivity because of switching between tasks. And the example that they gave was, you've got one task, you are 100% focused on that. Now back to the point about being 100% focused, unless you've trained your brain to be 100% focused, you're probably thinking of other stuff that needs to happen at the same time. So you're not quite 100% there, in my opinion. Next, they said, if you've got 2 activities and 2 tasks, you don't spend 50% on each. You basically spend 40% on each of those tasks and then lose 20% of the productivity time to that context switching between the 2 tasks. Maybe that's correct, maybe not. But moving it up to the 5 concurrent tasks, they were saying that you are 4% productive. So 5 tasks, 4% productive, that's 20%, and then 80% unproductive. Maybe an over-exaggeration, I don't know, but I get, you get the gist of what they're trying to say with unproductive time. So, you know, let's think about the amount of tasks that we're switching between in a period of time. Here are the hacks that I'm going to tell you that I'm going to start using and have already started using, and I want to see if you use them already yourself, or whether you could add in your own ones as well. So the first one is to turn off all notifications. You know, the problem I have is that I've got stats and I've got a list here of all the things that I did context switch between when I was thinking of this article, this post to put up as well. And the point about the notifications, I just checked my phone to see on an average of the last week how many pickups there were, how many interruptions, how many notifications, and there were 73 pickups in a day. It was mainly WhatsApp, so what I'm having to do is turn the notifications off for WhatsApp so it isn't letting me know. The other problem I have is this is connected, it's my Garmin fitness tracker, and this also notifies me that you know, there's WhatsApp messages coming in, and typically you look at it and you read it. So I've turned that off as well most of the time when I know I'm in the zone. 80 notifications per day as well, of various notifications. So it's a nightmare. And overall, it's telling me that I used 23 hours of social networking last week. I'm hopeful that a lot of that is productive. I don't know, let's hope so. But back to the point of the context switching. So when I was at the weekend thinking, oh my God, I am being so inefficient at the moment, the things that I focused on were, the first one was arranging a dog walk to meet my children. So I hadn't seen the kids for maybe 3 or 4 days. So I was texting them and arranging a dog walk at the local park so I could meet up with the kids at the same time. Secondly, there was one of my properties that a new tenant needed a draft example contract sending through for them to check. So that was to do with properties, nothing to do with dog walking or children. The third thing I was thinking of was property related again, but a different property, and that needed a viewing arranging. So I had to contact the tenants and then the person that wanted to view the room as well. So again, that's another separate thing. It was nearly lunchtime, so that was telling me that, you know, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm hungry. So that was a distraction. Video creation for the .com secrets videos that I'm putting together and presentations. That was another one. Facebook messages to reply to. I had in the back of my mind that I hadn't replied to any of those in a long time. And course creation content. I'm putting out a 5-day challenge within the next fortnight. If I can get my crap together and be more productive, then I will, I'll pull that together in the next fortnight. So course creation. There was a family WhatsApp group of texts where we were talking about a family visit and get together, socially distant family visit. So there were so many texts through that as well. One of my cars needs servicing. I've got 2 cars. I'm not bragging there. One's an absolute heap, but I keep it because of the dog and because of the going to the local tip where I tip off all of the rubbish that I collect. So but one of the cars needs a service. So again, that's another separate issue that I needed to deal with. Paying myself from one of my companies because I hadn't paid myself recently. Nice problem to have, but you know, that was something else. And then the dog started barking. I'm surprised he's not barked now while I'm on this this video, because usually he does. So as you can see, all of those were in the space of a 20-minute period, and my head is just frazzled most of the time. I'm knackered because of the brain power needed to switch between them. So here we go. 6 tips and 6 hacks that I use, and I'm putting them in place as well. I don't use them all just yet, but first thing is turning off the notifications. Make sure that you're not disturbed. If you've got something you need to do and it'll take you 15 minutes, you don't want any other interruptions. So turn off notifications. There are certain things, you know, important things that you can't turn off, but majority of stuff can be. Allocate bunches of time to things as well. For one thing, here's a question for you. Are you a 1-tab person with your Chrome or Microsoft Edge, or are you a 20-tab person? Because I see so many people that have so many tabs open, and again, there's notifications coming through on some of them at the same time as well. So allocate bunches of time. Back to point number 2, allocate bunches of time so that you can focus on just one thing, whether that's 5 minutes or 25 minutes. Just allocate that time in your daily slot for that activity. Work out like you're at a gym with the activity that you're doing. If, let's say, for example, you're at a gym doing bicep curls, that is all you're focusing on before you move on to the next activity. So similarly, make sure that you work out your brain such that you can develop that focus over time. And that's something I'm working on to make sure I'm focused and less all over the place. Difficult being a single dad with everything else in my life as well. Theme the tasks together. So for example, social media. If you are on mainly Facebook, arrange all of your Facebook answering posts, liking, commenting, all of that kind of thing, replying, new connections, adding new friends, etc., etc. Make sure that you allocate time for that. If it's email marketing or marketing of some kind or website updates, allocate bunches of time for that and theme it all together such that, you know, you don't have to switch between screens or whatever else. Number 5 is splitting the time into consumption or creation. I heard this from Grant Cardone, first of all, where he said you're either consuming or you're creating. And Gary Vee also talks about it, I think, where he says, if you're consuming, why consume like 5-6 hours a day if you're not going to use it for something? It might be beneficial, it might be informative, but unless you're going to do something with it, then what is the point of doing all of that consuming? You've got to create stuff if you are in business to get it out there and get offers out there into your audience as well. The final one is the time of the day that you are able to do your tasks and activities. I'm a morning person, so from the hours of like 5:30 till maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 p.m. It's late for me tonight. I'm really productive in the morning. So I get all the difficult stuff out in the morning, and then the more easier tasks I put out in the afternoon and the evening. So I'm way more productive in the mornings, and that helps me. So which time of day is best for you? Work around that. So that's it. It's gone longer than I expected, but there is a lot to talk about with context switching and just how inefficient we are. So let me know if you've got any hacks, any productivity hacks around context switching and being more productive and focusing on just one thing. So I'd love to know, and I'll catch up really soon.